Welcome everyone to our 2022 high school football season week 6 video review. This week we're going to begin with an important mechanic that our wing officials, our head linemen and linemen need to focus on for the remainder of the season. The signal in this play pick is a signal that our head linesman and line judge need to use when we have a pass that is backwards. They need to punch back, as they call it, punch back into the backfield. This will help us to know that the ball is still live if it is not caught and communicate to other officials and help us avoid a potential inadvertent whistle. On this play, we clearly have a backwards pass from the quarterback to the running back. And watch our line judge here. We need to punch back on all of them to get in the habit to continue to punch back and to communicate with the rest of our crew. So let's punch back on every backwards pass we have. On this play, the quarterback clearly gets the ball at 35 and throws the ball backwards to about the 33. As we look at the lines judge, we do not have a backwards punch, and this ball is not caught. It's loose, so it's a fumble. Let's use the backwards punch so we can communicate to the rest of the crew, as it's important that the rest of the crew knows the status of this ball. On our next play here, we're going to have an indication of a backwards pass as the head linesman on this play rolls it backwards and then punches backwards, as we see it right here. The punch backwards communicates to the rest of the crew so they know the status of the pass. Even though on some plays it is clearly obvious that the pass is backwards, like this particular play here, let's go ahead and get in the habit of punching backwards every time we have a backwards pass or ruling a backwards pass. That way we're in the habit. And then when we have a borderline play where it's questionable whether it's backwards or forward, we're ruling backwards, we'll be in that habit and prepared to punch back. On this play, we're going to have a quarterback receives the ball and then he takes off running, and he begins a feet first slide at approximately the 47 and slides almost to the 50, somewhere between the 49 and 50. Let's remember that when something other than the hand or foot touches down, that is where the forward progress spot is spotted at. On our next play, we have the same thing where a quarterback scrambles and runs, and then he slides around the 47 and ends up around the 50. Let's focus on where the quarterback goes down at, other than their feet or hand touching. If some of their body part touches, that is where they're down at. The slide can sometimes be deceiving and take them downfield further, but let's try to get the forward progress correct on these by focusing on where the ball is when they slide down. On this play, we're going to have a flag for like a late hit, unnecessary roughness, as we see the tackler get hit and the defensive player drives the tackler back and then looks like it picks him up a little bit and slams him down. This is a good call here by the referee on this particular play. Let's keep an eye out for this stuff. Good dead ball officiating. Our next play, we have a kickoff, and it doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it may catch us off guard. So K kicks the ball downfield. Not sure if R touches the ball or not here, but then K recovers the ball, and they go on to try to advance it, thinking they score a touchdown. But we have the officials stopping the play. Let's remember on kickoffs that K cannot advance a kick, and this ball is still a kick because it's never been possessed by R, so it would be K's ball at the spot of their recovery. Our next play here, we have a kickoff, and we have a really good job by the umpire in this play, because if you look at the 40-yard line, you can see a hold, and the umpire throws his flag, and that tells me that the umpire is not looking back where the receiver catches the ball. He's not ball watching. He's looking at the blocks up in front, and he catches this hold. It's a good job by the umpire looking in the right direction and not ball watching. On our next play, we're going to get to the line judge, and we're going to look at some really good mechanics by the line judge here. As the play develops, notice how the line judge follows the ball upfield but staying behind it. And then he sidesteps upfield until he gets to the spot of the forward progress, puts his hand over his head for the dead ball spot signal so the play clock can start, and comes in towards the middle of the field. This is a good job by the line judge here. We're going to look at two plays here, punt plays, and we're going to look at the back judge mechanics. On this particular play, the punt goes towards the line judge side. Remember, line judge is releasing at the snap going downfield to help the back judge. On this particular play, the back judge starts to close down on the line judge side. What puts most of the action on his backside, and he can't see it, or he has to look over his shoulder. Stay more in the middle of the field or towards the head lineman side back judge. The only really threat on this particular play that we have near the ball is potential touching by K or the ball coming to rest. All the action is going on behind him, and that's where he needs to be able to see. Now, in comparison on this particular play, we see the punt, and then we see the ball rolling towards the line judge side. But notice how the back judge stays over on the head lineman side of the field and observes from there. And that way, he's in better position to observe more action on the field. On the next play, we have a pass play where the receiver catches the ball, goes downfield after the catch and makes a run, and then is tackled and hits the ground. And then we have a defensive player come in late and make a hit. This is a late hit. This is a good flag by the back judge. Let's be alert for this kind of stuff so we can properly flag it. So this week's week 6 video review, we're going to add a new section here for this week, and it's You Make the Call. We have a couple of plays here where you can make the call, and then feel free to share your comments in the comments section, and also share why you or why not you made your decision. And also watch these plays at game speed, and then you can go back and watch them a second time. But try to make your decision the first time through, because remember, in a game, you can only watch the play once at game speed. Looking forward to hearing back from the officials who share their comments. So our first play on You Make the Call is a kickoff, and we're going to focus here at the end of the kickoff return, the tackle, which occurs or begins to occur around the 20-yard line of K. And you can see the K player grab the R player. And you got to decide whether this is a horse collar tackle or not. Yes or no. Next play, we have a running player, and the runner goes down and is tackled. And then we have a defensive player come in with a hit. Is this a late hit or not? Next play, we have a field goal try. We're going to look at the player here on the end, and is this a legal block? On our final You Make the Call play, we're going to look at a kickoff, and on this particular kickoff, we're going to look around the R's 30-yard line. And a K player comes down and attempts to tackle the R player who's running with the ball. The K player misses and takes out one of the R players. Thank you for joining us for our Week 6 video review of football plays for this week. I hope the plays were informative and help you in the future weeks. I also look forward to hearing from the comments for the You Make the Call section and hearing the feedback on those particular plays. Thank you very much, and until next week, have a great week.